Hello, and thank you for joining our event, Genocide Awareness, Justice Across Time. We are honored to have three expert panelists join us this evening to talk about their own professional and personal experiences with genocide, as well as issues of justice pertaining to genocide survivor communities. In one moment, I will be introducing our moderator, Dr. Savon Tun, but first I would like to make a few remarks about the Restoring Family Links program of the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross is proud to support genocide survivor communities through its Reconnecting Families services. These services mean that we help reconnect families that have been separated by conflict, disaster, migration, and other humanitarian emergencies. So whether it is reconnecting siblings that were separated by the Holocaust or providing documentation to those who survived the Balkan Wars, on documentation on the fate of their loved ones, we hope that by providing this service, that those that have survived genocide can find some source of justice by being reconnected with their families. So first we are going to watch a small clip provided by one of our panelists, and then we will turn over things to our moderator.
You may have heard about the conflict in Darfur, Sudan. What's really happening there? And what can you do to help save the people of Darfur?
The organization of genocide in Darfur continues. The government in Sudan is responsible for this 4-year campaign of violence.
A catastrophe is still unfolding on a massive scale. The Darfur region in Sudan.
England is worldwide with the worst humanitarian crisis in the world today.
Over 4,000 villages were being burned down, eradicated from the earth.
Our own government trying to kill us all.
5 people remain pregnant.
The injustice not in them, that's it.
Sudan is the largest country in Africa, and Darfur, an area about the size of Texas, lies in the western region of the country. In 2003, after decades of neglect, drought, and oppression, 2 rebel groups that represent agrarian farmers mounted a challenge to Sudan's president, Omar al-Bashir. President Bashir's response was brutal. Under his direction, the government of Sudan began carrying out devastating assaults on the civilian population. To assist in their campaign to wipe out the people of Darfur, the Sudanese government armed and trained a militia known as the Janjaweed. Working together, the Sudanese government and the Janjaweed coordinate the bombing of innocent civilian villages from the air using military planes and helicopter gunships. Then, the Janjaweed and the Sudanese government's military forces moved in on the ground, raping the girls and women in front of their families, killing the men, poisoning the wells, and burning the villages. Villages of up to 20,000 people have been burned to the ground. The current death toll is up to an estimated 400,000 people.
My name is Terry. I'm from Darfur, Sudan. I was able to scare that my brothers and hundreds of people was killed. While I was really in Chad, when I do something to help my people, I became a translator for international journalists. I risked my life with this work. I believe if the people know what is happening, they will help to stop the genocide. And this only one, 100,000 people who were separated since 2003. Here are some others. These are the story of real people, voices from Darfur.
Let's name Muhammad Tafadla Ishaq. I was born in Darfur. The government with the Janjaweed forces. After that, they came and attacked our village. They took everything from us. They beat me and they left me for dead and they killed everybody in the beach. If you are not writing, if your children, elder, woman, man, everybody what they call is they kill us. My brother, his best friend, and father to me, shot 5 bullets in his back. If I have time to say something for my brother, I prayed all days for you.
That's it, that's the border. We've just crossed from Chad heading into Sudan and into Darfur. We asked the Sudanese government for permission to come into Darfur, but we didn't get it. No surprise. You can look at it this way. Back in 1944, the Germans didn't want anybody coming in and seeing their death camps. And today in Sudan, the government doesn't want anybody coming in and seeing what amount to death villages.
This is a picture of Pengala before the attack. This is what the government didn't want us to see.
There are houses all around us, as far as the eye can see, and they're all destroyed, every single one of them. Why burn each and every house down?
Yeah, it's a message, you know, it's a message to other people in Darfur. We do not want you in Darfur.
A message delivered by Sudanese troops in militia called the Janjaweed.
The Janjaweed will divide themselves, some for rape, some to set fire, some to shoot, and some to follow those survivors who were able to run away. They may hide behind trees, behind bushes. Those bushes will be set on fire.
When we talk about more than 4 million people who have been forcibly displaced from their homes, ethnic cleansing have been completely established.
What is happening is complete extermination of the indigenous African in Sudan.
During these attacks, rapes,
multiple rapes to the same woman. Some of them died out of rape.
actually rape is used as a weapon of war in Darfur.
Five different men, they attacked me, they raped me, and they cut me in different parts of my body with a knife, and they burned cigars in my body. It's very, very difficult to say for me. Malaysia attacked school of girls in North Darfur. They were 40 girls with their teachers. They were bleeding. I saw them. They were tortured. When I read them, they were killed. They were killed. Just killed them.
When the attacks come, the women may not be able to take all the children and run away. So those who survive only do free of their children. Some just died there, right there. The remaining children, when they end up in a camp, still they will die from malnutrition disease, from different kind of disease, and lack of medication. It is really devastating.
In a country governed by the rule of the gun, Saleh Osman believes in the rule of law. He's a human rights lawyer working in Sudan. As violence in Darfur increased, Mr. Osman worked to provide a record of the alleged war crimes.
When the situation became worse in Darfur, I was very much engaged in that issue of protecting the rights of the people.
He is a thorn in the side of those who use violence to come to power. And so for many of his fellow Darfurians, Mr. Osman is a lifeline to hope.
Hoping that maybe, if not tomorrow, one day, one time in the future, criminals should be held liable for their acts.
His fight against injustice in Sudan has had a personal cost.
Several members of my own family have been killed. The rest are right now living in the camps. Myself, also, I didn't have to because of my work as a human rights lawyer. And I was threatened also that I would be killed.
He was taken and tortured by the Sudanese government and held for 7 months in 2004. After his own hunger strike and an international letter-writing campaign by human rights organizations, he was released.
When I came out, I found more than 5 thousand letters around the world supporting me and encouraging me. That was amazing.
His story is an example of how effective international pressure can be on repressive governments.
Now I would like to properly introduce our moderator. Dr. Savon Tun is presently working at the U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission, a federal agency in charge of investigating discrimination in employment. As a volunteer, Dr. Savon Tun is active in Buddhist affairs. He is president of the Cambodian Buddhist Society Incorporated, advisor to the International Buddhist Committee of Washington, D.C., vice president of the Washington, D.C. Buddhist Network, and founding member of the International Buddhist Association of America. Dr. Savon Tun has participated in many activities and is a member of many groups in the DC area, promoting understanding and harmony among all ethnic groups. Please join me in welcoming our moderator.
Thank you, John. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the American Red Cross for organizing this important panel discussion on genocide awareness. It's also an honor for me to serve as a moderator. Before we start, I would like to present our distinguished panelists. In order, before I do the introduction for themselves, I would like to let each one of them to start introduce themselves. Start from Niemat.
Evening, everyone. Thank you so much, and I'm very appreciative to International Rescue Committee for providing us this opportunity to speak. My name is Niemat Ahmadi. I'm from North Darfur, Sudan. I survived the Darfur genocide, and I was forced to leave my country. I ended up coming to the United States. I'm the lucky who have been able to escape the Darfur genocide. And luckily speaking on behalf of my people everywhere to educate the general public and policymakers about the situation in Darfur and demand that they do something about. And recently I founded the Darfur Women Action Group, an organization that is focusing primarily on the empowerment of the affected communities by genocide in Darfur and also are historically excluded. And within the empowerment community, women empowerment is a priority for our
my name is Tung Yap. I'm the president of the Cambodian American Force. I am a survivor of the which is the name of the given to the genocide period in Cambodia. During the Adults of terror of 3 years and 8 months from April 17, 1935 to 1939, approximately 25% of the Cambodian population died, either through starvation, sickness, overwork, or senseless killing. And I'm very fortunate to survive the era and to tell the story. I'm very happy with the community here in the Washington DC area and throughout the United States.
Good evening, my name is Claudine Kuradusenge, and I'm a survivor of the Rwandan genocide. For the past 5 to 6 years, I've been an activist trying to promote the narrative of the Rwandan genocide and recognize all the victims of the genocide itself. Right now, I am a PhD student looking into trauma as a form of identity and how we understand each other and how our traumatic events can unite us through creative ways and through understanding.
Thank you, Honorable Analyst. Please allow me to await a brief statement from the moderator. The question first arises as to why the American Red Cross gets involved in this issue of genocide. You should be aware that the Red Cross is the frontline organization in emergencies, especially in wars. The American Red Cross was created in 1881 in the wake of the American Civil War. It has grown to cover international conflicts, in particular in genocides in different countries. In conflicts, it established emergency hospitals, provide emergency food and shelters, and locate long-lost loved ones. Another question is the definition of the word genocide. The United Nations Genocide Convention defines it as acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, and or religious group. Acts of genocide have been committed throughout history. There are well-known examples of genocides, such as the Holocaust, the Armenian genocides, the Bangladesh genocide, and the Cambodian genocide. The Bosnian genocide, and Darfur genocide, and Rwandan genocides. Of course, there are many other examples of genocide that I cannot completely compare here. Many measures have been taken to prevent and punish the horrors of genocide. In 1948, the United Nations approved its Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crimes of Genocide. That convention came into effect in 1951 and has been ratified by more than 130 countries. That convention came, the United States ratified that convention in 1988. Its actual effectiveness in stopping the horrible crimes remains to be seen. Even though Cambodia ratified the convention since 1950, no country invoked the convention to stop the Khmer Rouge genocide, killing almost 2 million people. Since the establishment of the convention, the United Nations created criminal courts in response to particular genocides. The International Criminal Tribunal for former Yugoslavia, in the case of Bosnia genocide, International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, and extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia. The convention has been expanded to include establishment of International Criminal Court called Rome Statute, which was sitting since 2002 in The Hague. Few countries ratified this statute. The case of Darfur was referred to the International Criminal Court for investigation, and 7 suspects were indicted. Without the convention, statute, criminal tribunals, can the world stop these kinds of genocide in the future? Apparently no, as the history pointed out. 8 years ago, I signed a petition to the Secretary of the United Nations to curb genocide morality from happening. Also, Secretary of State John Kerry warned that the Central African Republic is on the verge of genocides. As a conclusion of my statement, I wish to appeal to each and every one of you to be aware of the genocide that may happen everywhere, and please try to do something about it. Without further ado, I would like to ask each panelist to talk about my presentation about their experience in their respective countries. First, I would like to ask Niemat Ahmadi to present her case. Please, Niemat.
Thank you, one moderator, and I thank our audience again and the international person. As I said, I was in Darfur when the genocide started, and the killing started. Growing up in my hometown of Kabir, I had a very beautiful childhood. I lived with my loving family, my supportive communities. People are very helpful. They can assist you and support you even if they don't know you. That possess more than value. I was the only daughter in my family to attend, to go to college. As most of my other sisters, they were very active in finished high school. When I was going to school, I have been supported not only by my family, but my extended family and my community. So I felt that I'm obligated. Upon my graduation, I decided to immediately go back to that core, looking at the disparity and the marginalization that our people have experienced since the independence of Sudan. It is overwhelming, but I was optimistic and hopeful that few of us who have gotten education can change that situation. And I was lucky to find the opportunity to work for international organizations. I would travel all over that world to meet these people in the remote villages, providing them with development projects, and we provide training, capacity building, and initiative for women empowerment and women inclusion, and livelihood and education for children and housing system. I was very happy to have that job because I would serve my community, but also I was helping my family. One day in 2002, we went to the outskirts, the suburb of my hometown, Kabir. We have community village development community trainings in several villages. So we approached the first village, the village of Bradley, which is about 45 kilometers away from my hometown. And we had the training, and people were very happy, setting up the priorities for their community and the development priorities so that they can start implementing and growing the local association in their village. And we looked to the next second village, which was Rabbit Village. Coming after 2 days, we found that same village that we worked, it was in the same village. People were frantic. Part of the village was completely burned. So many people wounded, and people almost that the village was empty, but there are so many people lying on the ground, either dead or wounded, and there's no way to provide any help for them. And I was in huge shock. Asking the villagers what happened, they told that they saw the soldier coming in their uniform, and they welcomed them just like you would welcome your soldier. And they immediately start taking the valuables from the villages. And 1 month after, while you are doing this, and they shot them on in the head, and they start shooting everyone in the room. That is how it was started. We came back, and it was very shocking and frustrating to me. We fit as many people as possible, for those who are wounded to bring them to hospital in my home. Immediately after our arrival, the NGO International Organization ceased operation. I stayed home for a week, and one day my mom woke me up and said, "Why you are sleeping? It's no longer the same city and no longer the same situation." And I go to the gate and I see the smoke coming from all parts of the town. You see the smoke like cloud, and you see children going barefoot and with no families. You see women running and crying. In that same day, about 15 villages was completely destroyed. And the government blocked anyone from the city who are going for the rescue of this. those people. So, group of individuals in my hometown started collecting money, clothing, and uh, medical assistance to those who are in need and trying to bring them to the safe places and trying to establish a camp. The government accused those who are helping the needy of obstructing peace in the area. So everyone was arrested, including my relatives, my cousins, my brothers, my uncles, and the situation was very difficult, even though it wasn't safe. But we, as a group of people, we came out and started working. I did not speak in detail because the genocide in the forces are people who still go out and help me. But because of what I have been, I was targeted and I was hunted day and night. After several attempts in my life, I was forced to flee. Fleeing therefore was not an option, was not a choice for me. But many people advised me, they said, if you stay in Niemat, including my mother, that you are outspoken, if you stay, you may all be killed. But if you flee, you can be safe, you can be able to speak for us. Because of that hope, I don't have hope. And I stayed 2 years in the neighboring countries, and finally I arrived in the United States in 2007. Since then, I became a voice for my people. In 2008, I traveled to over 121 states and hundreds of cities within the United States, speaking to students, human rights groups, and all individuals who are interested in listening to tell the people about what's going on in the court. I testified before the U.S. Security Council, before the Congress, before the Human Rights Council. Unfortunately, the situation in that court is not much different than what I read even worse. As recently, the government of Sudan has promoted a strategy that is completely isolating the court after the arrest warrant of the International Criminal Court in 2009. They forced humanitarian organization out of that court. They blocked that court for international delegates and journalists. Since 2009, there's no journalists allowed to go to that court before incident. People, when they don't see that court in the news, it's good. Maybe the crisis is over. Unfortunately, it's not over. In 2013, there was about 460,000 people who have been forced to flee. In 2014, about over 500,000 people are newly displaced. In 2015, in the first quarter, 233 people were forced to flee, but the rest of the year, the UN has not produced any report, even though the killing and rape is continuing. In 2014, in one night, the government forces in a small village, they raped over 221 girls and women. 105% of elementary and high school children, they are not even women. Until today, the United Nations and the United Nations African Union troops that are on the ground, they are unable to investigate these crimes. And this has not provoked any outrage within the international community. Unfortunately, this is not a single incident. This is very systematic, as very interpol has been used as weapon of war. As of today, over 4 million people have been driven out of their homes. Nearly a million people cross the borders to the neighboring country. 333,000 are in Chad alone. Still, the government of Sudan is following this people and hunting them. As you may have heard recently, Jordan, with the help of the government of Sudan, has reported 700 genocide survivors who escaped the killing and went to Jordan. They were returned back, they have been arrested and tortured by the government of Sudan. Today, in the last months, the government of Sudan has continued to bomb, as of today, as I speak to you, using antelopes and helicopters, bombing innocent civilian villages in central Jamhara, where the UN reported 133,000 people have been forced to flee, and many more are trapped in the mountains with no aid assistance. The government of Sudan declared that area as a no-go area. The UN agencies cannot go without authorization to use them. People are dying of bombing, of bullet, and also dying with starvation as the government of al-Bashir has constantly used starvation as a weapon of war. It's not right now only in the port. In South Korea now, the government extended its attack whereby hundreds of thousands of people come in the cave. They are lacking minimum needs of survival. The situation in the port is so they can be a winter port. Women living in the camp for over 13 years, they have been constantly systematically raped. Some of them raped for more than 5 times, and there is no international organization operating a system for it. Recently, the government of Sudan has declared a new plan that in 2017 there will not be displaced people. They are ending the displays. That means they are wiping out even the helpless displaced people in the camps. They also they said that they find for random on that board that they are changing the name of that board and dividing the land of the Dakoy people into groups from Arab origins that are ruled by the government of Sudan to replace the people of Darfur, and they said this is the final solution to Darfur. The same word that is quoted from Hitler when they declared the genocide against the Jews. So that's why I'm appealing to all of you, to every single one of you, that the situation in Darfur is really there. We need you, and Darfur needs you more than ever. Telling my story is not about me anymore. It is about those who are trapped in Darfur and still dying. They are facing rape, they are facing displacement and trauma. I call on you then to speak up and do something about Darfur. If we can collectively act, we will definitely do something to help. But I think the international community has failed Darfur. Even though the case of Darfur has been referred to the International Criminal Court, unfortunately, al-Bashir is still free. It is still free of pursuing his genocide policy. With all of this, we have the hope, but we can only make that hope a reality if we can all act together, if we can be together as many people as possible. And speaking as the theme of the film is pursuing justice for genocide, I believe this is of particular importance. And when we speak about justice, it's not about just criminal justice. Yes, it is very important to punish the perpetrator and to show people that accountability for the world was crime is not an option. The immunity is not an option. But also, there are more into social justice. Genocide is not an overnight process. Those who commit genocide, they develop a deliberate policy of exclusion, marginalization, deprivation, and demonization. The final stage is when they start killing the people, but they already set the stage for that. It's more of the speed. These people are not going to have equal opportunity for equal voice. They need education. They need empowerment and capacity so that they can be able to reintegrate themselves. So affirmative action and social justice is very important. Moral justice and psychological justice. Recognition of the plight of these people is very important. And also helping them to overcome the trauma. And women, those women who have been repeatedly raped, unless there's justice, they cannot heal and overcome. They need to see the perpetrator being held accountable. You cannot come and negotiate peace and see the same people who rape your women, kill your father and mother, that is still taking care of the affair of the community. So I think justice it has more into enabling the community to fully integrate itself into that society. I will stop here and be happy to.
Thank you, Niemat, for this heartbroken story. It's a very good story. I will ask you some more questions later on, and then I will try to cover this very story.
Hi everyone. Yes, the Cambodia went through a very sad time between 1975 to 1979, due to the Vietnam War, basically dragged Cambodia into a civil war. And then the communist faction basically used the ideology to fight social injustice during the time, and basically able to garner support from the general public to join them, basically to fight corruption and different kind of injustice that occur with the government, within the government at the time. And then when they became victorious in 1925, they tried to make Cambodia a utopia place. Basically, to build Cambodia to a different society that is equal for all people, and make it a place that a nice place for people to live, basically. And the problem is that to start building that utopia place, they had to basically start from a clean slate. What that means is that they have to kill a lot of people, and especially the educated people. They have so many ideas, their mind is corrupted, and they might not receive some of the instructions from the leader very well. So those people have to be killed. So because of that, a lot of Cambodian educated people were killed in that time. That's basically some of the background. So basically, the raw material created a society that is completely lack of freedom and totally undemocratic. You know, in that time, they force everybody from the city to the countryside, and basically you are assigned to a certain community. Once you are assigned to a certain community, you cannot travel to another community. For example, you live around here, you cannot go to Kennedy Park or to Virginia because we are not authorized to do so unless you have a special permission. So basically, lack of freedom. And also, you're not allowed to trade. You're not allowed to practice any kind of religion. And you're not allowed to own anything except the personal necessity, like fork, spoon, small utensils, and clothes. But practically you don't own anything, and you're not even allowed to own any vegetable that you plant in your garden. Because everything has to share by the commune, by the community you live with. You're assigned to live with like 30 families, something like that. And so, since everything is owned by the government of the commune, you cannot even cook in your home. If you cook in your home, the produce that you get, the ingredient that you get, must mean that you're stealing from the community. And so, and in a time everybody has to go to the community kitchen to eat at scheduled time. So because there's no need for you to cook at home. And plus everything again has to be shared within the community. And we basically live in a country that is very isolated from the outside world. Just like the present North Korea that is seen today, and no access to the outside media except the government radio station that is keep bombarding us at the collecting world site or the community center with various kind of propaganda that they keep spitting at us. I lost a lot of family members during the short period of time, in less than 4 years, due to this kind of massive social experiment in a way, because again, like, it forced you to live in the countryside with farming, and everybody share collective products. So that means that nobody is richer or poorer than the other. Because of that massive experiment of my family, I lost a lot of my family, I lost my two aunts, two of my uncles, and a lot of aunts-in-law and uncle-in-law, the problem and then customs. And a lot of people were targeted for execution, again, to kind of instead of this figure. The soldier, the police, the civil servant, teacher, high school, and college student, business leader, along with the CIA, KGB, humiliation. Those are professions associated with the previous government, so they were targeted for execution. A lot of crime were punishable by death, stealing, inappropriate use of word, and sexual misconduct, laziness, frequent sickness, not being useful to society can be punishable by that. The Kairos is the group of regime that was called. The agent that killed with no due process. So there's no court. They say, okay, you commit crime, you can be killed in the spot. There's no due process. And neighbors were trying to spy on each other. Children were interrogated every day. You go to work in the collective field, and at the end of the day, you come back. They basically interrogate everybody that anybody did wrong or you every day. So basically, you have to be truthful to the regime. And they keep asking, what was your father previous profession? What is your mother previous profession? Again, the children usually tell the truth, and if you were, especially one of the members of the armed forces in the previous government, that mother or father would be killed or disappeared from the community. And the said about 2 out of 7 million people died in the period less than 4 years. And during that time, because each community had to be self-sufficient, that means you cannot really provide your own group for everything that you need. So, because of that, a lot of things are not available. So we found a lot of found, and eventually you have trauma, hamburger or something, or a piece of rice, grain or something from on the dirt, you will pick it up and eat it because you as this society was so poor now. And of course, property right, it goes all the school system. So there's no school because again they want uneducated people, so that it's easier to spread them from the town. And of course, religion was banned, and imagine how to live in that kind of society. And the monetary system, well, you don't have any money. Well, not money, don't have money, but they don't create any money for the country. Because there's no need to trade, because you have to work for the community, commune and collective vote. So you just, you don't need to trade. And trade is illegal. Yeah, we have to work pretty much almost every day. And because you have to be self-sufficient, you don't produce clothes in the community. You just, what was cloth, you just keep cutting and reuse it. And because of that, the government may provide something to you. Once in a while, maybe every 2 years, you get one shirt and one pant. And they're all in black and greenish pajama. So when you look at YouTube about Cambodian genocide, you see a lot of people wear color black and pajama. So you don't have to fight like going to the mall nowadays to choose which clothes to pick. because in that time, people were the same that kind of culture. The sexual misconduct was not tolerated, even to be by the communist agent, which is a good thing, because the agent cannot even commit the sexual misconduct, because that is like one of the no-no for the regime, which is good in a way. So in comparison to the Taliban rule in Afghanistan, we hear about after the 9/11, the Cambodian killing field was about those, like again, you can trade, you can listen to the and Western music or outside media and all that, and you don't go to school, so it did not work. And for me, at that time, I was a young boy, and I was assigned to take care of a cow. Initially, when I was small, and then later on, I was assigned to dig ditches to build a canal, to build land for rice field. And later on, I was taken away to work in the labor camp to do various things like planting vegetables, potatoes, and cotton. And during that time, I had to be away from my parents before, and while in the labor camp, I missed home so much, I missed my parents so much, and I missed, kind of pray at night that I could come home soon. And for me to prevent future genocide from happening is to have a real democracy country, where government ruled by the people. Because for me, a democratic rule, the state distributes human rights and on the property rights, and there will be checks and balance system to prevent a few persons from making a colossal mistake in the country. And the freedom of the press, speech, and assembly can act as a watchdog, preventing leaders from making repeating mistakes. In a total literate state, too much concentrated power in the hand of two individuals, allowing them to do anything they like creating a tragic catastrophe scale mistake in Cambodia that I had witnessed. So I urge the United States to continue to promote democracy and to respect for human rights. The United States should discourage any leader from ruling the country for a very long time that can lead to dictatorship. The current Cambodia is still very much operated like a dictatorship, but now it's bad as before. The current regime, the current prime minister and family ruled Cambodia for more than 30 years, for a very long time. And the United States should discourage that kind of behavior. I personally would like to support, term limits so that administration can change so that they become ingrained into society and act with impunity. Many of my colleagues believe that the much larger neighbor country, Vietnam, used the current perfect Cambodian route to move a lot of Vietnamese into Cambodia, absorbing Cambodia culturally and economically, a cultural genocide in a way. And the high ratio of Vietnamese in Cambodia caused friction and fuel a lot of resentment in Cambodia and can cause a huge conflict later on. So if the government keeps not listening to the people by doing things in a very perfect and regime way. And regarding the Khmer rules that need to be trusted in Cambodia, is the Khmer rules tribunal. And people have mixed feeling about that because of only a small, like 5 people basically brought to is in the list to bring to trials, and the trial has been very slow since the 1997 that the tribunal has been established. Only one person got convicted, that is Comrade Bush. And among those 5, 1 died because we processed it very well, like almost 20 years now. And another one became like incapacitated, so we cannot bring that person to trial anymore. And there's 2 left, and now they're getting very old, and they most likely not going to be convicted before they die. The Cambodian and Cambodian American have been traumatized by the skin field. Many people believe that trial will bring closer to the issue and how bring buildings and community as these perpetrators are brought to justice. And we are very happy that one of the perpetrators come back, which was convicted. The international community don't want to spend a lot of money and a lot of politics involved because sometimes the previous regime passes some of the current regime that were members of the previous people who committed the genocide. So because of that, there's politics involved that they don't want a lot of people to get big enough for justice. And they keep dragging their foot, and the internationals will not allow the government to drag the foot and take the process very well. And the Cambodians live outside, they try to find closer. So Dr. Vietnam, the professor at California State University in Long Beach, was able to gather many Cambodian diaspora to file a complaint to the Khmer Tribunal. Again, I urge the international community to have pressure the court to go beyond just to find people, which is the case with 02, to find justice and closer for the Cambodian people. And I urge the international community not to cave to the government demand just to limit to these 5 people. The Prime Minister said, if we bring more than 5 people to justice, they might start another civil war in Cambodia, but I don't believe so. If more than 2 million people die, I think there should be more than 5 people bring to justice. Thank you.
Thank you for this sad story. Children growing up in Cambodia never believe that happened to the country because they just don't know the history. And I think I should get some question now. Last Ms. Claudine, and we talk about Rwanda. People know Rwanda from the movie. So please tell us your experience in Rwanda.
As you were mentioning, we've had so many movies about Rwanda genocide. Sometimes I feel like people know about Rwanda more than me, and a lot of people might think they actually know about Rwanda more than me. Being the 3rd panelist, I think, instead of talking about my own experience, I want to reflect on the last 22 years, because today is the 22nd anniversary of the Rwanda genocide. And I want to reflect on how the last 22 years have been affecting Rwandans and my community. Talking about Rwanda, I am a survivor, but I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor because I was in Rwanda when the genocide happened. I lost family members. Despite my young age during the genocide, I can still remember the smell of the blood on the streets. I can still remember and hear the screams people were making because they were hurt, because they were wounded, and because they were being killed. Rwanda, I think on April 7, sadly to say, I think God forgot about us for a couple seconds and how was rules on earth in Rwanda. I'm saying that I'm not a victim because I am a Hutu. And when we hear about Rwandan genocide, we hear about the genocide against Tutsi, which means people I love and lost, my parents, my grandparents, siblings, uncles, my family, almost my entire family are killed, but they are not victims of genocide because they are not recognized as Tutsi, because we are not Tutsi. Interestingly, 2 days ago, I was having that conversation with someone who was thinking about what I was going to talk, and I still don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just reflecting on my own thoughts. So 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with someone, and we were exchanging opinions about wounds, and that person said openly that I shouldn't call myself a survivor of Rwandan genocide, because I am not the typical narrative here. I'm not the typical person you see when you hear about Rwanda, when you hear about the genocide. Because officially my narrative is not the official narrative here outside. And because of that, I am not a survivor. But for about 18 years, I had nightmares of the Rwandan genocide. For 18 years, I was sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night because I was afraid to just go to sleep. It was too painful. But I am not a victim of the genocide based on what people hear and what people say. One question I always ask myself is, can silence kill? And the answer all the time is yes. Not being able to talk about your own pain, not being able to honor the people you lost, the parents you're not able to bury, the little sister who died in your arms in the refugee camp. Not being able to talk about it, not being able to see people empathize with me when I'm talking about it, is the kind of silence I tend to kill. I know so many people in my own community, I know so many people in the Hutu community that lost so many family members, that lost parents, that were tortured, but the narrative is not the one you hear, which means they have to silence themselves. They have to silence their pain and hide what they feel inside in order to survive, because they can't express. And when they express themselves, they are emotionally and physically threatened. We all experience at one point emotional calm when people are telling you you shouldn't talk about what you're talking about. You shouldn't say those words. You shouldn't be there outside in front of people saying, no, I'm advocating for every single person who died, every single Tutsi, Hutu, and Twala that during that genocide. We all have people telling us, why are you doing that? You know that whatever you're doing, it doesn't really matter because they don't matter. Because the people you love, the people who were there to cherish your birth, to be there for you, don't matter. That is something we hear all the time. That is something I heard this morning. Because when you look at the Rwandan genocide, officially it happened on April 7th. But on April 6th, we had 2 Hutu presidents killed in a plane. We had the entire cabinet, the government, they were killed in the plane. But it don't really matter because the genocide started on the 7th. What happened before doesn't matter. The 3 years of civil war behind Rwanda doesn't matter. What happened after 1994, July 1994, doesn't matter because the genocide is between April 7th and July 5th. Everything else doesn't matter. Your class doesn't matter. The nightmare you have for 22 years don't matter. One thing Rwanda has been really good at doing is talking about reconciliation. And the international community praised Rwanda for reconciliation, which is true. We had the Chacha Code, we had criminals and things like that. But how does reconciliation look like when a big portion of the community, a big portion of the country is not allowed to sit down and think about who they lost, cry for who they lost, and mourn for their losses? How can we reconcile with others if we haven't reconciled with ourselves? If we haven't sat and reflect on my parents, if I haven't sat and reflect on my baby sister at home when she was dying, how can I reconcile with my neighbor if I can't sit down, listen to the voice inside of me telling me to stop crying and just tell someone how painful life is when you're so young and you actually know the smell of death, you know the hardest thing that can happen to a human being before knowing that these men exist, before knowing that we have this princess that have beautiful dresses. How do you reconcile with things like that? And can reconciliation exist without justice? Can justice exist without reconciliation? That's also something we need to talk about today. But what does justice look like in those terms? What does justice look like for someone here in the US who actually has the opportunity to talk, who has the opportunity to think for themselves, and justice in Rwanda, where we all know that we have massive human rights violation right now. And as Niemat said, justice is not just about the process. Justice is not about bringing someone who committed a crime to actually pay for the crime. Justice is so much bigger than that. Justice is about allowing the community, allowing someone to come and reconcile what's happening, what happened to them, and allow the community to come together and actually find a solution for themselves. And how can justice and reconciliation be applied in a case where your victims are more important than my victims? Where your story is more important than my story? Where you are more important than me, even if we are supposed to be equal, even if we're supposed to come together and have the same idea of what future we want for the same country. How can justice be when your country recognizes you more than it's supposed to recognize me? We're from the same country. We're supposed to have experienced the same pain, but my pain doesn't matter because it's not the official pain we are supposed to talk about, we are supposed to see. And interestingly, because of how outspoken I am and how I think that every single victim has the right to be recognized as a victim, not just because your victims matter more than mine, that means mine don't really matter. I've been threatened by people. I've been emotionally, and this morning I'm still threatened by other people too. But by stopping and discouraging myself from talking, I am actually telling people that, yeah, you're right. My pain, my suffering, my losses don't really matter. And I think that's something we need to come together as Rwandan 22 years later and sit on the same table and recognize that my pain matters as much as yours. And if we can come to the same table and see each other as equal in front of the law, equal in front of humanity, then we can move forward and try to see how we can build a country for all of us, not just a country with one type of people that kind of dictate everything and ignore everybody else. And also, I think one of the most interesting things for me as a Rwandan is we hear about the genocide against Tutsi in Rwanda. We hear about Hutus being the one who committed genocide. Then in Rwanda we have 3 tribes. What happened to the 3rd one? They might be only 1% of the population, but they also matter. They have a voice we need to hear. they are Rwandans, and as Rwandans, we are all them and all ourselves to actually come together and talk about them, allow them to be recognized as part of the population. One thing I think I would like to finish with is what future do I see for Rwanda and what peace I aspire for my country. In terms of future, I like to think that I'm a really optimistic person. A lot of people say I'm not, but I like to think that I am. I want to say Rwanda for Rwandans. And when I say Rwandans, it's every single Rwandan, in or abroad. I want to see a country where we all can express ourselves and express our feelings, our pain, and our love for each other. Because I think we do love each other. We just are hurt so deeply. We just want to hold on to our losses that we actually forget that we are supposed to be one people. We're supposed to all love each other. But sadly, I don't see that happening soon because first, Rwanda is not a democracy. We don't have freedom of expression. We are not allowed, as a Hutu, I'm not allowed to talk about the fact I'm Hutu. And I'm saying out loud that I'm Hutu because it's part of who I am. It's how the country was shaped. It's how my identity and narrative was shaped because that's who I am. And not being allowed to say that, I think, is just heartbreaking. And telling young people who were really young to the genocide, who might not even experience the genocide, that the genocide was committed in the name of their tribe, which means they have to come and apologize for it. I think it's just disrespectful and hurtful. Because we have so many young people right now growing up outside and they're frustrated because they feel often, like all the time, that they need to apologize for the crimes of other people. And telling someone you have to apologize for the crimes someone else did just because you belong to the same group. I think that's how we create radical thinking. I think that's how we don't allow people to reconcile with themselves and reconcile with other people. And I like to think I'm optimistic, but what I said is not that optimistic, I think, not really. But I think Rwanda eventually will be a peaceful, beautiful country to live in. But we have so much more work to do. It's been 22 years today. And I have a really long way to go, I think. And I hope I'll be still alive to see it. I hope that I'll be able to be part of that change because that's my goal in life, I think. My whole purpose and narrative and my whole idea of being an activist is to make sure that I'll be there and I'll leave a peaceful country for my own children. And I want women to realize that we've been acting like children for the last 2 decades. We've been focusing on I'm hurt, which means if I'm hurt, you're not hurt as much. I've lost these many people, which means they don't want to condemn your people because I'm the rightful, the real victims. And we actually haven't stopped a second and realized that we're all hurt. The entire country is hurt. And if one entire country is hurt, that means we all, as a country, need to come together and heal our wounds and allow our people, all Rwandans, to be part of the solution, not just to be spectator of few people dictating the solution we're supposed to have, but to be as one people, creating one solution for all of us.
Thank you, Claudine, for the most optimistic panelists. I feel better now after I hear all the sad story. Optimistic to the point that you mentioned that we don't have what we've done. Okay. Well, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I guess this is the end of the presentation from each panelist. now is come up to the questions and answers. First, I want to come to Darfur. It's a moving story that I heard, and I thought the genocide has already ended because the suspect has been indicted at the International Criminal Court. And I would say no, it's still going on. And I didn't hear and didn't see anything in the media. So I have to ask you in your opinion, how to build peace in Darfur now, as people still killing people?
As usual, young people that want to be, but I'm also realistic. It's not enough to be hopeful. You have to be practical and realistic. Today, as we said, we have over 4 million people who have been forcibly driven out of the homes. Rape continue to be used as a way girls as young as 7 years old are being raped. And the perpetrator has made with no consequences. And right now, the narrative of genocide in the world is completely changed. Within the international community forums and also within the advocacy community, unfortunately, forums, and there's a lot of denial. We call it intertribal conflict, the war between the government and the local. That's not true. It is very systematic. And the way, like, as you said, the definition of genocide is supposed to be an intent. There are people with systematic intent. Like, if today I am traveling to my hometown, to settle down, people will be stopped in the car and they will ask about the tribe, and they will be singled out to kill. If you are a Ford, the town or Muslim, you will be killed. Therefore, has over 100 tribes, but these are the only 3 tribes that have been singled out to be killed. Even students at the level of the university, when they demonstrate that students from that are pretty different. They are killed, abducted, tortured, and forced to leave universities. So, Bashir is an internationally recognized genocide. He's indicted by the International Criminal Court. And that president is still leading the country. With that kind of person, I don't think peace will come to Sudan with Bashir leading the country. Unfortunately, he has been told it is okay to commit genocide and go to other countries and you will be welcome in a red carpet. She has been traveling all over the place, and the case of that was referred to the court by the UN Security Council, including the United States is a veto member of that council. And today, Bashir goes to the forum that United States officials. And if we are living in a world where the genocidaires, they love to do their business as usual, that means we cannot prevent genocide, we cannot have peace, because it means to the perpetrator that it's okay to commit genocide, it's okay to kill your people, and it's okay to do everything, and you are welcome in international forums. I think we are living in a very dangerous world. I am optimistic, and I work day and night for peace, but are they other people, like the world leaders who have the responsibility to pursue peace in Sudan, are they serious? Do they want peace? What happens then to the involved affected communities? Today, like for years, the people of that war have not been provided with education. There is no capacity for the affected communities. Today, instead, those who perpetrate the crime, they have more opportunities to funding from international NGOs, to go to international forums, they can travel, and they speak on behalf of people that were while those who are victims are enslaved and put in the camps. They have no voice, even when there's peace negotiation. Women who have been victimized can let go. Civil society can let go. So how do we make peace? So it is nearly impossible. That's why we need more people to speak up for the people that go. We need them media to be consistent to treat all conflict equal and to speak up about that. We need policymakers and world leaders to have commitment. The genocide that they once said never again, it is happening again and again. Today is 13 years from 2003 and 12 years when the United States declared the case in Darfur as genocide. It was recognized by the European Union and it was recognized by the international community. So I think peace needs a lot and we need our collective effort. If more people can speak up, definitely peace will come back.
Thank you. I guess we have to work hard to find a way to work and keep peace. I just want to know what impact of the genocide in Cambodia on the people now as they achieve peace campaign. Can you mention some of the impacts on the people?
Cambodia got dragged into the civil war through the Vietnam War. There's a lot of superpower around, and we could look at Cambodia in a way lucky that the superpower want to clean up the obligation by doing the 1991 Paris Peace Agreement. So they created the 1991 Peace Agreement, and through that concept and idea, they transmit into the current Cambodia government right now, which is supposed to be a democratic government in Cambodia. But the current government still operates almost like a dictatorship. So to prevent future genocide from happening, I would urge that the government practice a real democracy in Cambodia, and also urge all the people to hold the government accountable to practice a real democracy and safeguard the peace so that they don't pull Cambodia backward. Because it has been 36 years ago that the genocide ended. So let's don't let Cambodia go back to the injustice society anymore by practicing real democracies in Cambodia. And we have the constitution to do that. So let's hold the officials accountable if they don't follow the constitution very well. There's a lot of smart young student people. Please remind them that they have to run according to the law.
Thank you. I hope we can achieve peace in the future, and then with a strong right in power right now, and he's a former communist, as you know, so we have hope that he will come down and have somebody take his place. Now, for the optimistic one, I don't want to ask you more questions on one. Now I want to ask on Burundi, as for the Rwanda, and also how the same tribes in Burundi. We worry so much about Burundi at the moment. So would you comment a little bit about the possible genocide in Burundi?
Sure. I think one mistake we tend to do when we talk about both Rwanda and Burundi is we tend to think that everything is related to ethnicity. Like we don't like each other, we fight because of who we are. And what's happening around in Burundi, I think is really more complex than ethnic conflict. We have political conflict that's happening right now, and we have so many activists, both Hutu and Tutsi, who are working together to bring up the resolution to what's happening. So I think we shouldn't minimize the conflict, or we shouldn't minimize the conflict in Burundi by saying it's an enemy conflict. That's what a lot of people are trying to say because of what happened in Rwanda. They are saying that because we have a certain ethnicity, that means we're doing exactly the same thing. But I think we need to allow people in Burundi, allow Burundians to take control of their own life and their own future, and stop saying that it is an ethnic conflict. We need to allow them to frame the conflict in way it is for them and not the way we want it to be.
Okay, thank you. Now is the end of panel discussion. Would you all give me a big applause to our panelists?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you to our moderator and all our panelists. It's been very inspiring and very provocative and educational for you this evening. So thank you again for joining us, and we hope that we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.